You are now listening to About That Business, hosted by Rom Wills. Rom Wills is an entrepreneur and personal coach who has helped people reach their fullest potential personally and professionally. Take it away, Rom.
Thank you, Marshall. Poverty consciousness. You know what? The biggest reason why many men and women don't succeed is they have a poverty consciousness. And I'm going to tell you how deep that poverty consciousness is. And because we have a great example of it. We have these people who win lotteries. They win millions of dollars and then they broke within a year. And people can't figure it out. I actually know through my co-parent a lottery winner. I actually met him one time. Funny looking guy. But that dude, I mean, he was spending money like crazy. But he had come from a poor area. And, you know, he bought all that stuff. He might be broke now. I need to look him up. He might be broke. He took a little bit longer than most people, though. He had a little bit of money management skills, but it was still disappearing like crazy, right? But you get that with a lot of people. They get a lump sum of money, and that money is gone. They have nothing to show for it. I mean, I've known people who've gotten, like back in the dot-com craze and everything, when millionaires were being made from selling like stock from these things. I know a couple people made a whole lot of money, like 6 figures. Nothing to show for it today, though. You know, but they had a poverty consciousness. See, one thing about poor people, the thing that makes them poor is how they spend their money. See, I saw something on Instagram the other day. I see a lot of stuff, even though you got a lot of booty models and pretty boys on Instagram, you got some people spreading some good stuff, some profound quotes. And they were saying how a person could have $1 million but end up with less than a person who has 10,000 just because of how they spend it. See, the thing that gives a person a poverty consciousness is not how much money they have. Let me say that again. It's not how much money they have. It's how they spend the money they do have. Think about it. That's why you have pro athletes who they have $1 million contracts, big houses, but as soon as, you know, they get cut, as soon as they you know, have a major injury. And I'm already thinking about the next video. But as soon as they have a major injury, all of a sudden they don't have that money anymore. I mean, I've heard one player, I mean, he had won a Super Bowl. And they said, what's he doing now? He's driving for UPS, last I heard. Not to say there's anything wrong with UPS, but when you come from a millionaire to having to do a job like that, that's major. That's major because you like, well, what did they do? See, the thing with the people with poverty consciousness is they don't invest in things that will bring them more money. Like the smarter ones would like start a business, or they'll at least get like some stocks and bonds, everything. They'll do something, you know, buy some stuff, invest in some business, you know, just some stuff to make more money for them. Or at the very least, put it in a savings account. You know, you put $1 million or something in like just a money market account or something. And money market, that's not even that's like the most conservative. Well, actually, the most conservative may be a CD or something, but those are like the most conservative things you could do. But if you got $1 million in there, you're going to make some money off of it. A little bit of something, you know, or just a regular savings account. But see, someone with a poverty consciousness, the thing is, what they do is they get the money and they spend it. They don't save it. You know, when you get somebody, like you get some lottery winners, right? You know, first thing they do, they get a big old mansion, get cars, buy all their relatives, half of whom they don't even like, some stuff. If you spend, that's a poverty consciousness. I don't care how much money you make. That's a poverty consciousness if you just spend. Especially if you spend it on dumb things. Like half the stuff you know. Because there's a frustration even with some of my own relatives who would spend money on things they didn't need. Now they have nothing to show for it. That's a poverty consciousness. And that's the biggest enemy. It's not lack of money. Let me say that again. It's not lack of money. Somebody theoretically could have as long as they have a minimum wage job. And like say you get a young person, right? You get a young person. They can live at home with their parents, but they still work. And the parents are gracious enough not to charge them rent or anything like that. Now, I've seen some young people, they'll just spend their money however because, mommy and daddy got them. But you can get a smart young person, make a minimum wage. They just work a regular job since they don't have to spend rent or anything. And they ain't in a big hurry to leave and be independent. They can put their money into stocks, bonds, savings accounts, stuff like that. Basically build the money up. And then, you know what, maybe make that money work for them. And then maybe, even invest in something, maybe a small business or something. If they have some little small business idea, something that can bring them money, something that can bring them passive income, right? That's an abundance consciousness. That's a money consciousness. That's a very important thing. Somebody could literally start with a minimum wage job, and by putting their money in the right places, right investments. Even if they start in small, like you can get a CD for $1,000 or something, $2,000 something. You can usually get a money market. You can go online and find very aggressive savings accounts, like very good yield saving. You like, wow, start making that money work for you. Because it's like if you don't have to spend the money, you don't. Especially if someone can live frugally, instead of getting like that new car, get just a good used car, something like that, and just save. Now, like say some young person, he start on that minimum wage job. If they're a hard worker, they'll get little raises or something. But as long as most of their money is going towards like their savings accounts or any other investments they have, stocks, bonds, stuff like that. Like I actually knew a woman who was on welfare, but she actually put money into stocks, and she was actually get off of welfare because she would just take a little bit. She didn't have to buy that extra candy bar for a kid, or she didn't have to buy them some Jordans, because even though she was there, it wasn't like she grew up in that. She still had an abundance mentality, just fell on some hard times, but she was like, "No, I'm not staying here." And I've actually met plenty of people, a lot of women who say they've had to use food stamps or something else at one point, but they were determined not to stay there. They didn't have a poverty consciousness, And that's the first thing. Anybody trying to make some money, I'm gonna tell you what. If anybody trying to make some money, that's the first thing they gotta address. How they spending the money. Like on one of my bank accounts, and I'm saying one of my bank accounts, I have something that tells me how much income I'm bringing and how much I'm spending. Now, what I'm spending is less than what I'm bringing in. They like, that's good. And I'm looking at the number. It's like, no, that's still not good enough. So I got to figure out where I got to save more money at. So what the number is, the number is low to me. So I'm like, no. My goal is always to have less, to spend less money than what I bring in. Like just to have money, like any month, have money left over from the previous month. That's my goal. And I'm talking minimum, I'm trying to have a minimum 1,000 left over. Now, overall, I kind of do. But I'm saying that's just at one bank. Because, well, as I said before, I got my stuff spread out, and one bank actually tracks it. Now, if I go with the other bank, you're talking about 2,000 or 3,000, all right? And even that's still not good enough for me. That's still not good enough after I spend money on everything. So I'm like looking at stuff, cooking a bit more around here. I don't buy clothes that much. Needed some new shoes, but I'm looking at, I got 3 pairs of like athletic type of shoes, so I'm like, I might not need another pair, I'm like kind of minimalist in that way. I don't really need it. Plus 3 is enough plus a boot, plus some other stuff. Damn, you know? Oh man, I got a lot of shoes. So I might not need that, but that's my point though. You know? Get out of the spending thing, because you got some people, they just spend like a hose burning in their pocket. I know too many people, and they were making good money, but then they didn't do anything. You know, buy a house. You know, even though I've gone on here saying, you know, I'd rather rent than actually own a place to live in. I didn't say anything about getting some commercial property. I'm still eyeing commercial property right now, you know, because it'll bring me money. Actually, I prefer commercial property anyway. I'd rather just buy it. I don't need because and honestly, because I had a couple people say something to me about that. Just real quick, if I can't put at least half down on a home, I don't want to buy it. I'm saying at least half. I learned that from some people who made money. If I can't put half down on a car or a house, I'm not buying it. I'd rather just save the tax money, property tax, all that stuff, repair bills, save all that money, and then when I get a place, I have either a very low mortgage or really the ultimate thing, just buy it in cash. That's my goal. You know? Just buy it and go. And I know some people have a different idea, but yeah, that's good. Do what you want. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to pay a mortgage. So, anyway, right? Anyway, it's you know, just get out of that poverty consciousness. If you have it, if you to the point where you just spending, like look at your budget every month. Look at what you actually spend. And put it like, here's another thing. If you actually have to go into your credit card for anything just other than like you need to get an emergency or something like that, you got some issues. So anyway, right? Anyway. Oh, and I'll say this about the credit cards. Never spend more than you pay every month for it. If you got to spend it, unless, like I said, an emergency, like car emergency or something. Never spend any more than you have to. So anyway, right? That's it for today. Let's go make that money.